Alright. Let me just give the VOD a minute to catch up. Only takes a few seconds for it to catch up, so it's not like super dangerous or anything. I'm a little late, 5 minutes late. That's not bad for me. So I'm gonna get started in just a minute. We just need to tweak the camera as per usual. Sorry, I'm just tweaking the setting. Just a little forewarning, I have had pretty bad sleep, so I might be a little off or not as talkative as usual. Normally, I have no problem being talkative. Let's see, how's that white balance? I'm pretty orange, just maybe a little bit more blue. I'm just tweaking the white balance. It's hard to tell because like the screen's bright white whenever I'm adjusting the settings, and then as soon as I click off the settings, I'm like entirely cast in darkness in my little cave. Alright. So, trying to think if there's any kind of updates. No, it's been pretty chill. I've taken I took. Hang on. Let me collect myself. Think about my words. Use words. Learn English. So I did consider trying to do a couple more sketches to see if I would end up throwing this away. But I was actually really happy by the time we were done with this piece yesterday. Or sorry, done with, I guess like working on this. Not done. You get what I mean. You understand. I don't need to explain myself. So yeah, we're gonna keep going through with this because I just think this is about the best I could probably do. That sounds so. That puts me down so much. Hold on. I enjoy what I have come up with so far. Like I like this. This is a good concept. Like I think this one was always like a hard one for me to picture in my head of what I was gonna do, and just like me spitballing ended up turning out something pretty decent. Like this was actually really great. So we're gonna keep working on this. We're gonna try to clean up the lines. We might get to the inking stage like really quick if I'm not too lazy. We might even go for a longer stream today because I don't have any hard out time, so we'll shoot for like maybe 9:30, 10ish. Okay, with that out of the way, I don't have any posts this week, so there's nothing on my Instagram to update. Nothing as far as big updates in my life. I went to the doctors, everything looks good. Nothing else. I guess I'll just go and start. I am not going to be here next week. Next week there's going to be a show over in like Raleigh, Greensboro, something like that. So I'm going to be out for a week, but that's just fine. I think the missing 1 week won't kill anybody. Ooh. Oh my goodness, I forgot to get open all the stuff on the back in 1 second. There we go, that's open. Okay, so hopefully now the music is being credited on the bottom. You should be able to see the stream artist. Let me open it up on a browser, just to keep an eye on the back end of things, or front end of things. Hang on a second. Why is it not working? Just a second. Oh my goodness. There we go. Maybe that refresh it. Test. I'm trying to see how far behind my stream is. No, for some reason, still not showing any of the songs that are playing. 1 second. Stream only. Now playing. Snip.txt. Hang on, let me try stopping and starting music, see if that does anything. Test. Oh my goodness, it's still not working. I don't know what's going on. I've already turned it on and off. I don't know what could be holding it back. 1 second. There's gotta be something on the back end of things. Let me try closing it and opening it. No, it still doesn't seem to be working. Oh, never mind. There it goes. Alright, sorry for the back end of things. I have no idea why it didn't work the first time for whatever reason. Maybe I closed it too quickly or something. Sorry, I have like a little simple snipping program that just rips the text of what song is playing so you can see it down below. It's also just like a way of crediting songs because, you know, don't want to get clapped. Otherwise, I'd use a lot more copyrighted music. All right. Let's see. I mean, these songs are technically copyrighted too, but you know, different kind of copyright, or you know, different willingness to actually go through with the claim. That's the whole appeal of this music group. Okay. I'm gonna put all this in one big layer. Bip, bip. Let's see. What about you? There you are. There you are. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I did this on stream, but this is gonna be like the color palette that we're gonna work with. So it's a very like, you know, pale, almost heavenly look with just like a little bit of red for the, you know, like that little bit of vampire flavor, because they are still vampires. And then this is the design of the character that we're gonna be like following through with. He is very dark skinned. He's not like real, like, you know, like charcoal dark, but he's like, I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being, you know, like black as night, his skin is more like 7, 8. I don't know if there's like an actual like terminology for like shades of skin, but 7 or 8, like dark but not like super dark. And then, you know, like I guess like 4 to 6 would be light skinned. I think like solidly dark but not like reflecting all light like a prismatic ray. Okay. So we're gonna lower the opacity on this. We're just gonna turn these off real quick. But this one we're just gonna like lower the general opacity. And we're gonna do like a cleaner sketch on top of it. I think usually just like 2 rounds of like sketching is basically all you need before you start inking. Sometimes even that second sketch will already be good enough. At least as far as like trying to like keep things reasonably like short, I guess. I forgot the word that I was trying to use. Trying too hard to be clean already. Let's just keep it rough. Because nothing on this drawing is supposed to be solid yet. He looks like he has like a Steve Harvey mustache, but he doesn't have any. Oh wait, no, he does have a beard. What am I talking about? But he has like a white goatee. But I think just like the way I did shadows made him look like he's got a plump little mustache. Like that penciled in look. Gotta get that dome head. I think I might have mentioned it in the last stream, but this character has like a kind of squarish head. It's a really weird aspect of like heads. Like there's like discussions about like people who are just like born to have like nice looking bald heads. Some people just look like doughboys, like they just look very pillowy, and then some people have like very, just, you know, nicely shaped heads that complements the rest of their face. My older brother's been he's gone bald, so he actually has like a decent head shape for it. I think I don't. I think I have a very like soft looking head, and it's like kind of egg shaped. So we're gonna keep rocking this hair for as long as I can squeeze out of it. I'm not going down without a fight. We're going down swinging. Pull out the reference real quick, see how we're doing. Yeah, we're pretty good. And got a big old goatee, so I'm gonna put that there. Just go ahead and line that out. He looks so simple and goofy from this angle. Not simple as in dumb, like simple as in like literally like the drawing's very basic. Almost like a stick figure. But I'm trying to keep things like very focused for now. Just going for like the big shapes. Now we can have a little fun because the body's a lot bigger. Yeah, the collar does pop up a bit. The idea for a lot of his design is that like it's almost like what was cool in his day, or would have been like really flashy and interesting in his day. Like it doesn't come off. He doesn't realize that it comes off as like out of date, like a man out of time, basically. Which I think is very obvious for like kindred and vampires. It's just like they're literally from a different time, so they don't realize how like goofy some of their clothes looks. Not all of them are gifted with the ability to just like adapt. They're all just like frozen in whatever time period they were embraced. How small is his face? Because his face looks a little small on here. No, I didn't draw him without the glasses. Wait a second. Yes, I do. Oh my goodness, it's off screen. Thank you. That's definitely what I wanted to do. Let me make sure I'm grabbing the group. I think I was going for something a little small because, you know, like square head, small face, nothing too grand. It's not like a face that's really wide or spread out. I do think it looks a little long from here, but I think that's what the goatee's for. The goatee's supposed to like extend it. That's kind of like one of those like whenever you're like looking at styles of hair and styles of beard, once you start to like realize how you appear to the world, That might be a thing for most people earlier. I think a lot of guys don't realize until like late into their adulthood that they actually can change their appearance to look a certain way. Sorry, I just ate. I smell chicken on my fingers. I washed my hands, but apparently like the smell's still there. It's really weird to just smell your fingers on stream, I'm sorry. Sometimes the demons, they just call for me. Oh, I zoomed in, that was an accident. I think a lot of the outfits that I designed are kind of like out of time. I think, let me think of just some exceptions. Actually, no, they've all been pretty modern now that I think about it. The first couple were very young, so it makes sense that they have like youthful clothing. The only exception is Maria, the Nosferatu. I did consciously give her like 2010s outfits because like that would have been like around the time she was embraced. Because I was very consciously going for like outfits I remember seeing growing up in like the 2013s, 2014 era, where people were just had like those studded belts, hoodies with like, just big blocky text, or you know maybe they'd be scratched up. And I mean I'm like thinking like middle school for me because I am 25. Which is basically ancient in Gen Z. It's really weird being like an older Gen Z. Cause like I just have like barely enough memories of what it's like for millennials. Like I grew up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Not a lot, you know, like, you know, there was, you know, reruns, but you know, like still counts. We still count. The arguments on like online always get really annoying though. Where it's like, you know, like real 90s kids have to be, you know, they have to actually be born and like been conscious as a kid. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but most of the shows reran for like years after that. And you don't have to be like a super old kid to realize like Dragon Ball Z was sick. Maybe Ren and Stimpy didn't catch me, but you know, that's fine. I don't really talk to many people that bring up Ren and Stimpy. But boy, do I still hear about Toonami. And SpongeBob has been a thing since like, you know, like it's been several generations now. I'm saying several generations, but it's literally like 2. But several generations if you really think about it. And I mean that's been rerunning since you know the day it was aired, and it's still going strong from last I checked. I'm gonna have to fix his collar. It looks a little. It's one of those like tangent lines, I think is what it's called. Whatever like the lines are meeting up at for whatever reason when they really shouldn't be. Oh, so the rule is if like lines here meet up, there has to be a reason that they match, you know, like otherwise you should generally avoid it. It's not a guaranteed you should avoid it, unless there's like a good reason they're connected. Does he have like the little gap underneath the little lip? Yeah, he has a gap. Sometimes people have like little gaps. I think I have like the little gap underneath the bottom lip, where you have like it connects to the like the very middle, but then there's like a gap here, like 2 little circles right here, where there's just no hair, which is fine. It's not like one of those. Some people have it where it's just like completely, you know, like the second you move past the lip, it turns into a beard, and then other people just have like a little gap, and that's about it. Beard's still a beard. Then I'm gonna have to add wrinkles and everything. He looks like a Barbie toy. Like he's just completely smooth. But I don't know if I'm ready to jump in yet. Let me see. What is his suit? just one row of buttons. I forgot the waistband. I'm pretty sure I literally picked this out of like a catalog from the 70s. Like I just like saw like I might have just Googled like outfits from the 70s or trench coats from the 70s, and like that came up on like a magazine cover, and I was like, you know what? That seems like the one. It's flashy, it's big, it's unapologetic, it's bold. It's like, cause you know, like he's having like a hitman character. It feels kind of like the obvious answer is like suit, tie, that's it. You know, just keep it clean. Which I mean, I do as far as like whenever, I guess before, this is supposed to be him when he was working, like just before retirement, still even had hair and everything. And that one's very much like the darker colors, you know, like something that would actually, you know, be able to hide in alleys and shadows. So interesting, or maybe not so interesting, fact about like the design process for this character. I might have mentioned on one of some of my other streams that one thing I was really interested in trying was whenever I made all these characters was making sure that I tried including like black characters who weren't necessarily just African American. So like I wanted some that were like basically immigrants from like European countries or, you know, other nations that like traditionally, you know, like you wouldn't expect, as far as like, you know, like countries that I wouldn't say like have like a very pronounced like culture for black citizens, immigrants. I'm not sure which terminology I'm trying to use, but basically the point is like I looked up like what is the history of like black cultures in this country, that country. Doesn't really go well, unfortunately. It was actually really hard finding countries where it's not just like terrible, you know, like not to get too political, but well, yeah, there's no way around it. We're gonna get political. Israel was one of the first countries that came to mind, because I was like, oh, Ethiopian troops, that sounds interesting, you know, like Africans in the IDF. I was like, that's like an interesting like cross-cultural thing. And then I found out that like, oh, they're not really treated as citizens. And then there was also like this whole sterilizing of the militants. It's like, oh, that's bad. Like the ideal was to show these like characters that were like, you know, like respected and had like these huge stories, you know, in their regular life, and it was just like, oh, that is the opposite of respect. That is monstrous. That is terrible. So Israel was crossed off the list of countries to represent with these characters. That was not great. And then it's you kind of just like generally find a trend of like, oh, how are they treated in this country as like a migrant population? You know, like African diaspora. And it's like, oh, well, they were treated terribly. There was a lot of like racial, you know, like they a lot of them are assumed to be criminals in any other country. You know, like I looked up Japan. It's not great. They don't have like great opinions on that. You know, Spain, Italy. I think if I have to like remember all the characters off the top of my head, so there's, I think maybe 5 black characters that I made, or you know, black or mixed characters. And I think we've already drawn 2 of them. I think this character's the 3rd, and there's gonna be 2 more coming up. Which is funny because I only have 3 more characters, so 2 out of the 3 next ones are black. And then one of the whitest characters that I might ever exist, because they're literally like paper white. Not the point. So yeah, first one was Masa. So she's Afro-Iranian. Yeah, Afro-Iranian. So there's like a weird little bit of they don't really identify as black, but they are from their like genetic roots are from the African continent. There's kind of like this mix of like, do they actually identify as a population, or do they kind of just like hide their heritage, or do they kind of like subsume themselves into like the general Iranian population? So it's a little bit of a confusing little mix up there. I don't think there's as much as the like separation there. Like they are just kind of like subsumed into the Iranian country. If you looked into it and like spoke to people there, I'm sure there's probably more complexities and a better explanation there. But that's just generally what you can read off of like a few articles and newspapers that I saw. This was also like when I started to realize like, wow, world politics is hard, because I made these when I was 20, 21, and I was only like burgeoning into politics at that point. That's why I'm like kind of glad that I haven't like fully posted all the bios of these characters, because I'm pretty sure most of them are like, oh, I had no idea what I was talking about there. Like Masa is a very good example of me trying to understand the politics of Iran during the revolution of the 1970s. Revolution, some would even say maybe a coup by the American government. I might be confusing it with something else, but that's exactly the point. Like these are situations where I'm not like super well educated. These were literally just me being a wiki dude, wiki lad. I'm gonna move his thumb out a little bit. Pop out that thumb a bit. Make it a little bit more visually distinct there. I already moved in, but we can zoom in a little bit more now. I forgot about his hat. Or I didn't forget about his hat. I left it for this stage. So Mazda was the first one. That was also a great example. I think she was originally supposed to be the Israel IDF's Ethiopian troop. Then again, found out not great. Not great. I don't want to have a character from that situation, because it is awful. What was I just thinking of? It was that, and then like another character, but I decided to just shoot for the American military, which also isn't great. I think everybody's aware that the status of how black people are treated in America. Not great. It's not the worst. It's not the absolute worst, but definitely historically it's been pretty awful. And it's not great now either. It's just better than it used to be, I guess, if that's all you want to hang your hat on. This hat looks tiny. You're supposed to have like a big head, so let me make this a lot more pronounced, because it's gonna be like a pretty wide brim. He has like a fedora, but it's like one of those actual like huge fedoras instead of just like the tiny little trilby that everybody thinks of. So I gotta make sure that brim is wide. The second character would have been Talib. So Talib is from the edge of the French Revolution. I think just before the French Revolution. It's like 1790 or 1780 or something like that. And there we get into like really complex like diaspora, because I mean France, like especially during like the French Revolution, would just have like a ton of different like ethnicities and like races besides European, and they also had like a very pronounced like the terms aren't really like used anymore, but like mulattoes, like a third black, a half black, like they had like different like levels that were distinct at the time. So he comes from like a very complex background. I think he is either a third or a half. I don't remember what ratio I ended up using. And in general, it doesn't really seem to matter. Like if you're visually a black person, then you end up being treated as such. No matter like which culture you end up being in. But yeah, he's become like an American actor. He makes, you can argue light skin, blah, 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 blah. So that's the second one. I also decided that because France really does have like a fascinating history as far as like the treatment and like not necessarily like complete absorption, like they didn't like completely coexist in like peace and love, but there was like a really interesting, like they didn't have zero power except in Haiti, which, you know, that's a whole nother bag of worms. I think it was kind of like genuinely like there was like some coexisting there, and then I think Napoleon just was like, no, let's not do that. That's not okay. Mixing as equals? I mean, I don't think he put any like anti-miscegenation, at least as far as I'm aware, just off the top of my head. But he definitely was a superiority kind of guy. You know, like he very famously had like a lot of feuds with the what was this? I think his name was like the Black Devil or something, like the devil of something. It's the I think it's Hannibal de Monte. No, hold on, I'm mixing up characters. Alexander Dumas. There we go. That's his name. And it's like the one who's the father of the writer of, you know, the Count of Monte Cristo, which is why I almost called him the Devil of Monte Cristo. But yeah, he was like a really famous general, military general. Served with Napoleon. Wrote many letters to him, and then he got arrested, and Napoleon did nothing for him. Eventually, he came back as like I think he came back and then like, no, I think he died in prison, which is just awful. I mean, you know, Dumas, you know, Alexander Dumas, the writer, ended up having a much better time. And that was also like the inspiration for like a lot of how I ended up like theming Talib's characters. Just like, I'm a big fan of the Count of Monte Cristo, and I'm really interested in like the story of Alexander Dumas and his father. So I just decided to include that. French Revolution's always been like a huge like fanboy, like one of my favorite periods as far as like time periods. You know, like everybody has like their Sengoku Japan, American Revolution. I like French Revolution and then American Revolution. Like both of those are just really interesting time periods, just thematically. Whenever you have like any kind of like fantasy story or, you know, like anything, if it's in those two periods, I'm in. I can't really do fantasy. I can't really do Lord of the Rings, but I can do, I don't know, like alternate history, revolution, you know, like all that kind of stuff, or just general history. Like just watching videos about like history during that time is just really interesting to me. Let's see. So Talib, then it's gonna be this character. So I ended up deciding Italy. Italy does have some. They're also not like a great country as far as like how they treat their African population, especially now with like how they're treating like migrants from like any country. And then you look historically, you know, one of the most fascist countries like historically with Benito Mussolini, arguably even more than you know a certain Schmittler ever got to. Like he also, Mussolini also invaded Africa at some point and tried to make it like basically like an Italian colony, which I don't think ended up working, but boy did they probably do a lot of damage. I don't know anything off the top of my head. I don't think I looked too far into it, especially because this character is from like the early 1900s, like that's like, wait a second, oh, did I forget when World War II was? Hold on. Wait a second, I still have the reference sheet. Born 1919, so that would have been after World War I. He would have been like a child during this. I don't know if I ever wrote that he was from like I don't know, like an immigrant during that colonization attempt. Colonialization? Hold on. Colonization. Colonization. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Colonization. Okay, let me double check. We're gonna click. Born in Italy. Father was a plumber. East African immigrant. Turned 16, moved to America for better work. So they were African immigrants for like during the 1910s through the 1930s, and then emigrated to America for hopefully better opportunities and better treatment. Like whole, pavement with gold. You could find your dreams in America. Ended up not being true in their case. So there was a lot of stress in the family, which is what kind of like led him to like a life of crime during the 40s. This is a situation where like now I'm realizing, wait a second, I don't think I wrote anything about the war. And this character technically lived through World War II. I don't know if immigrants were like made to go to war. Did they allow immigrants? There's a lot of questions I'm now suddenly having that I just like didn't even occur to me back then. So, as far as I'm aware, he did not serve in any kind of military. Wait a second, where did the mafia come from? I got a lot of questions that I need answered. How are his glasses? Specifically, like the like the little folds. The intricacies of like how glasses are designed are really like obnoxious. Sorry, I don't know why I said obnoxious. That's not the right word. Are really like particular, like very detailed, like slight differences in like the bridge, slight differences in like the edges here, and on the arms, I guess you could call it. I don't know what these little sticks are called that go behind your ears. Let's see. Anyways, so Italy was another country that I looked up, and that's kind of like what went into his like background story, which is just like, yeah, it turns out they, being immigrants, they weren't really treated very well. Now that I think about it, they probably would have left before like the complete like fascist takeover, which is interesting. Like they would have like gone out basically at the perfect time. I hope there's not like one like history fact where it's like actually during the 1920s and 30s they completely blocked off all immigration from Italy. That would have been like really inconvenient for this history that I made for him. But sometimes it do be like that where it's like, oh, let's make this character, they're gonna be in this situation, and you actually look up the history, it's like they did not allow anybody through, and it's like, oh, oops. I accidentally themed him in during a time period where he completely could not exist, which is the annoying part of making like characters from like all these other different countries. But like I have like a very big like fascination for like specific time periods and like just learning interesting facts about history. Like Romeo was part of like the Troil separation movement, Troile, which was supposed to be like one of the first big like it ended up slowly becoming like one of the first like precursor movements to like fascism, and what ended up like inspiring Mussolini to eventually become a dictator. But I think there was supposed to be like some good ideas. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was supposed to be like a movement led by artists and love and this and that, and then ended up having like a lot of hate crimes and just things that happen whenever like government completely crumbles. Sorry, I'm not anti-anarchist or anything, but that's I'm trying to think how to like say that. I don't think it necessarily like 100% dissolves into. Anarchists are about like not having any unjustified hierarchies, so I don't think necessarily like removal of government will like immediately descend into just like hate crimes or anything like that. But I think maybe like it being unchecked, like it was probably already there when the government was still there, and being left alone to their own devices, it just continued to propagate. Anyways, point is, it's a really fascinating little like time period in history and movement. I think it lasted like a few months maybe, before like it was just like completely put down. Hold on, I feel like I'm not even paying attention to how these glasses are designed. One second. I'm gonna make them bigger, more square. Actually, I'm not doing too bad. Yeah, no, the pretty much everything as far as like the shape looks pretty good. I think the only thing is like these should be higher. Generally the bridge is lower than the glasses, so like here is where the bridge should be, and for some reason I have it like even. Where am I going? Hang on, maybe let me do it like this. We're gonna go all the way back. What we're gonna do is go back. I'm just gonna put it on like another layer. Okay, so reason I brought up the story. Italy decided it was like a good middle point where it's just like they weren't treated well. They had like a lot of presumptions of being, you know, criminal on the basis of, you know, not being Italian, being dark skinned, noticeably not European. So I kind of like thought it would be interesting to have them to go from like one country where they were treated that way, hoping for like better treatment, and then like finding out like no, it's actually kind of like the same across the board. Kind of like how I like figured that out too, where I was just like, oh, I thought maybe this country would be different, and like maybe this country would be nicer to their migrants. It's like, nope, you kind of generally find historically they're just not treated very well wherever they go. You know, like any kind of migrants. I don't think I have to explain how they're not being treated well here either in America. So yeah, I thought that was like a little interesting a tidbit of information. Next character would be Sierra Bet. They are Canadian. They wouldn't have like anything too different from what you would expect in America. I think that character would specifically actually be very like not resistant, but like very they didn't really experience any racism growing up because they were very rich and wealthy, which kind of put you into like a brand of whiteness above all other, you know, like minorities. You know, like wealth kind of puts you like on a different playing field. So the next African American character wouldn't be like one that I like experience like particular strife, which happens. Like there's like I said, wealth kind of like insulates you from a lot from having to experience a lot of those issues. It's like it's almost its own ethnicity, you know, like the white people who are poor are, you know, like treated or discriminated against, but on the basis of being, you know, different because they're not wealthy whites. Like there's a difference. Oh, 1 second. Okay. But yeah, they would also be mixed. I think the Sierra is. I think I could probably just look it up. I think they're like Brazilian, like a quarter Brazilian, quarter white, and then like half black. So like they're just like generally like a mixed character. So obviously they would have like a different experience no matter what. And then the last one would be Maurice, which is going to be a Spanish, which is really hard to keep up with because, you know, Italian, Spanish, a lot of crossover. They are different. And I think experience-wise, they're similar to this character, where they also experience like a lot of the same judgment and... But although they leave for like better business opportunities, they don't really leave because of how they were treated, and they were also like born in Spain as opposed to Omar, who was born in Spain but to migrants. Sorry, no, this character is born in Italy. Sorry, I'm mixing up. It says he was born in Italy, right? He's not just like migrated as a child. Born in Italy, yep. That's literally the first 3 words. Born in Italy. Okay. Let's see, do I have the glasses right now? I think they're just a little bit more squared on the bottom. So let's just fix that. He kind of looks like he has Ray-Bans. which they might be Ray-Bans. Ray-Bans doesn't make one model, but you know. You got big, fat glasses. Fat with a PhD. But yeah, those are just like 5 like characters. At least how like I like to like theme them or like design, I guess you could say. Design these characters based off of just like random bits of history and just like different experiences that I thought would be like really interesting to try to like create something out of, you know, like use it into like a mold. It's always a little tough because, you know, like these aren't characters that like I have like any experience with. I don't know what it's like to be Italian. I don't know what it's like to be Spanish. I don't know what it's like to be black. But I thought it'd at least be interesting to get like these characters from not just America. Which, now that I think about it, having one character that was just like African American would have been interesting, just to like piece things together or make things a little bit more like you get all walks of life instead of just, you know, I think most of these are European. Or actually, hold on. Well, Sierra, like I said, they're wealthy, so they get a bit of a different experience. I guess the only exception is the grandson of this character, or I think even the great-grandson, Franklin Jr. here. They'd be just traditionally, I think he's like 2nd or 3rd generation American, so like they've already like assimilated into like American culture. Interesting stuff. I like trying to like imagine these stories in my head and like create these interesting like blends of different diversities and backgrounds. Generally, whenever I'm making like a group of characters, I like to try to like go all over the place and just see how many like different things I can try to like blend. I mean, the same with D&D for me. Like whenever I'm making a character, I'm like, how can I mix the background? How can I mix the characters? How can I mix the subclasses? And just like make this like really unique combination where I'm like going all over the place. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But you know, that's kind of just where I have fun. I have a lot of fun in the character design or the character building part. See, is there any like nose bridge? Yeah, there's like a little glass piece or rubber piece. These glasses that I'm wearing are from Warby Parker, which are very expensive compared to what I had before, which were, I keep saying Zaxby's in my head, but they're not Zaxby's, Zell's. I wanted to get like a pricier pair of glasses just to see how they feel, and these are pretty good. Like, I don't really get that much dust or oil on them. That was like a huge problem with the Zells, which was annoying because like I paid for like a pricier like the Zell glasses are like $20 or like $30. But like if you can have like a bunch of features where it's like, oh, these are smudge free. These are you know, like blue light filtering. And by the end it was like $60-$70. But like they were not smudge free. They were very much not smudge free. They would smudge all the time terribly. I'm trying to understand this part. My phone just screamed at me. I think there's a little bit of weirdness here, but that's just, I think, accidental. I think that's right. Yeah, this looks right. I'm gonna go for like a thick bridge on the glasses too. This isn't a bridge. I don't know what you call these. The parts that go behind your ear. But I'm gonna go for like a thick frame. I just think like bigger or blockier glasses look good on this character. Not like 50 pounds of glasses, but you know, just like a nice big chunky look. I think maybe like one of the biggest issues I had as far as like designing all these Vampire the Masquerade characters was that I did try maybe a little too hard to make all of them like palatable. Which I mean generally, like I don't want like evil characters that are just like evil and boring, you know, like I want them to be like a little bit of depth to who they are as, you know, human beings, or you know, what were human beings. It's really hard, especially like from, at least from what I've seen, like people playing and writing vampire characters in Vampire the Masquerade, is like it's really hard to just make a character that's like bad for no reason, you know, like it's, or making characters that are completely disgusting to play. Because, you know, like it's hard to play a disgusting character unless you are kind of a gross person. I mean, not entirely. I think you can do it. It's just, like I said, hard. It's just tough. Because, you know, like at some point, the actual human being that's playing it is going to come in and be like, oh, I can't do that. You know, it's kind of like when you're a DM and you're playing the big bad evil villain. And it's like, oh, I can't just like kill this player, you know, like that's only like level 1 and really didn't do anything wrong. They just rolled bad. And then some people, you know, like they're really good at it. They're like, you know, I will kill this level 1 player that's, you know, this is their first time playing D&D. But, you know, shouldn't have rolled bad. Me try not to make every conversation about Dungeons and Dragons impossible difficulty. I spent like so much of my time on these glasses. I just realized, like I think like a third of this stream at least, and then me putting my nose in business I shouldn't be talking about. But sometimes I just can't help myself, especially whenever it's like I'm writing these characters in my head. You know, like I can't help myself but better like kind of explain what the idea is going on behind them. And there are also issues that I'm just like generally interested in, even if it's like what just happened. Sorry, how loud is this on your end? Hang on one second, I gotta double check to make sure I'm not deafening everybody in this video. That only controls my end? That's so weird. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, sorry, I just had to check. Apparently, like, I can control the audio on my end without changing it for you guys. That's good. Oh, one second. Sorry, my friend got a raise. I was just checking in. All right. Let me take a look from really far, see how the glasses look. I might have to shift it a little bit because it doesn't look completely balanced on his face. Let's keep them low so you can see like the eyes. Then I think all I gotta do is like shift the... Okay, I got scared. I thought the show was today for a second. The show that I'm going to. But I put like a week early reminder, so we're good. I don't think the show was expensive either, but still prefer to you know, not miss it. I think it was, you know, like 20 bucks or something, or it might have been like 60 bucks. And sometimes credit card go burr before I think about it, which is, you know, not healthy. You know, like, just don't do that. You know, sometimes I can't help myself. Like sometimes I just buy vinyl records that are like $70 without even thinking about it. And the fact that it's international, adding like another 20 bucks to it. You know, some of us have our own demons to fight. Is that why I'm broke this week? Maybe. What are you, my boss? What are you, my financial advisor? This looks kind of funky. What's going on? Getting glasses to like be shaped right because of the way they're like angled on the face is really hard. Especially with like how it contextualizes everything else around it. Like specifically with like, what am I thinking of? The word for whenever you have perspective. There we go. That was the worst way to explain it. Whenever you think you did, you think you had a dream that you did. That's basically what I just said. Have you ever had a dream that you think you did? You could probably put this lower actually. Maybe like here. Okay. I'm gonna brighten this back up. I'm gonna just erase behind here. I'm gonna merge that. I think that's good. Let's see, how do we go on the face? I think we're pretty good on everything. Everything's kind of working out as I was hoping. Or sorry, like everything on the face is organized as about as well as I would hope. Because like I said, I'm trying to get like the right proportions to the design that I already made. Does he have a wide nose? No, he's got a pretty strong, like, Roman nose. I think that's specifically exactly what I designed it after. Which is funny because, again, Italian. Actually, that's it. Just like as soon as you say Italian, you should just start laughing. I'm gonna hide this little rubber thing because his nose should just like push out a little bit. You're supposed to go from big details, like zoomed all the way far away, and then you go to medium. I wasn't gonna do it, but then I realized like, yeah, maybe I should fix like the body before I get too settled on how the face should look. So we're gonna zoom in a bit more, just like there, full body, and then we can focus better. I just found out what lapels are for on jackets, and it's crazy. Oh, sorry, it's not that crazy, but apparently lapels, they're designed so whenever you have a jacket, you can open up the lapels and you're supposed to be able to like fold them over each other, and it goes like all the way up to the neck here, and then there's supposed to be a button that you like close it up on, but they don't make that button anymore, so lapels are basically just to look nice. It's like a weird vestigial design. It was what is the word for it. But boy, did they got it right. The little lapels do look nice. Blazers without lapels just look kind of funky. It's like they're fine, but you know, like it could be something's missing, you know. Does he need to have popped collars? No, but he thinks it's cool. There's kind of like a subtle little bit of like, you know, he's supposed to be like this, you know, like a person that's like above all things, almost like a monk, you know, like they're above, you know, self-aggrandizing, materialistic. That's the word I was looking for. Materialistic items. But then you look at his like nice glasses, his nice watch, and you're like, are you really beyond it? Because it doesn't really seem like it. I think the head shape is perfect right now, but I think I'm trying to like get it angled right, because I think his head is a little bit more forward, or turned like a little slightly closer to the camera. Then round it off a bit, because it's not like actually cube shaped, like it's not hard edged. It's just like the corners are slightly more pronounced, and like the turn is a little sharper than, you know, like a perfectly round head. I don't know why, but this like shape of head is really pleasing to me. It's like perfect. It's like, it almost feels like, you know, like those like little like anatomy sketchbooks where they have like all those lines and perfect spheres and circles and lines. And it's like, this feels like, you know, like if you broke it down and you had those little visions where like the white lines are going everywhere, the little mathematical equations are going everywhere. This would be like the perfectly shaped head. Eyes too big. It should be like the exact same size as his regular eyes. Nope, that's not what I want. Yeah, really thick eyelashes for no good reason. Which makes sense, but because I also see like plenty of guys that have like really long eyelashes for no good reason. It's just genetic, I think. But it's a little noticeable right now. I think it's just because I have a really thick brush. Character kind of reminds me of like a skit I saw on Key and Peele. If anybody remembers, I don't know why I said that. If anybody remembers that, like it came out 1,000 years ago or something. But it was like this show of like this one episode or one skit, I guess you could say, where it's like this old man on the staircase, and he sees like a bunch of kids across the street or something like that. I don't remember the exact setting. But for this explanation, they were on the street. And he would like walk up to them and just start talking like all this like life lesson stuff, like, you know, kid, you know, like you gotta appreciate what you got in your life, because, you know, I know you're probably doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, and, you know, like this is a mistake that's gonna follow you, and, you know, like just generally giving them advice as like an old man. And then like the entire like scene reveals that like, oh, these kids, you like just made assumptions about these kids that were like entirely wrong. Like they had nothing to do with whatever he was trying to like jump in and be like this sage and like you know, wise old man. And I think that's what this character like is just like represents in my head, where it's like just like somebody like jumping in and like trying to make all these like life advice things because they think they have everything. And I mean, in this case, this is like somebody with like knowledge of centuries and centuries of kindred behind him that have been like subsumed after he diablerized his sire. So like he has like an extreme amount of knowledge. Like he would have like a knowledge of like ancient pathways, you know, Nosferatu tunnels, like all this like old ancient knowledge that's like long since been forgotten. Which is maybe like the only reason why celebrities still exist, is just like they have like such a old history that it is like directly subsumed by their offspring. When in reality, this character would be kind of just annoying. He'd give advice on things just as they see him, but they're only like one person. They're only one being. They can't really have like a perspective on how like everybody should live their life. They got like general tips that could help, but you know, they're never gonna know like the actual right answer. Even though this character wouldn't see it. This character would think like, nope, they've got it all. They've kind of got it all figured out. You know, they just like smile and just kind of like laugh like, no, like I know exactly what's going on here. I don't know if they would ever have like a comeuppance for it though. Like this character probably just like would never listen if he ever was like proven wrong. He'd probably come up with like just like another line and just be like, oh, I guess, you know, like that's exactly what I expected. Even though like they're just entirely lying, entirely wrong. Well, you just don't know how the cookie crumbles. You know, something just like stupid where it's like, what are you talking about, old man? He's got like really strong like cheekbones, right? Yeah, strong cheekbones. And I should probably put a little bit more of the like jowls. Add a little bit more sag to the skin. Nothing too bad. I think he was only like 16 when he was embraced. But you know, like, know that it's there. It's like losing, when you first start losing hair. It's like, you know, it's not a lot, but you know, like, you'll notice. You notice it there. It's there. It's happening. I'm not talking about myself. What do you mean? What are you talking? Don't make assumptions. We can have the golden eye. Golden eye. Wait a second, it's all coming together. You son of a gun. How's he looking from afar? Okay, yeah, the head's looking a little too flat up top. I think I accidentally scooped it inward on that towards the top. And it should still like bulge out because, you know, like he does have like a round skull. There we go. That's better. Maybe just a little too harsh on that corner too. How do we look without the paint underneath? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think maybe his coat, it looks a little uneven, his lapels. We can maybe like bring that down to like here, just to even out with the other side. I should probably do the same thing I'd have with his hands up here. I'm gonna redraw this part. Sorry, I'm trying to get the creases right under the hat. Let me just leave that up, actually, so I can just zoom in and out. That's kind of the shape. I really like how his hands are organized here. I felt like a shame not to include it. Man, even the thumb is positioned really well. I wonder if I use a reference. because that is just like perfect placement on the thumb. Like, just feels very real. So then the middle finger goes here, pushes in. Probably gets like eaten up a little bit because it's actually going into like pushing into the hat a bit. Because these two are like it's basically like a 3-finger grip where the ring finger's in the middle finger's on one side, and then the thumb are like pushing it together, just like grab, pushing, pulling it off, and then like doffing it on his chest, like a gentleman. And then the other two are kind of just like rolled up behind. Usually no, hold on, this is the index finger. I don't know why I called it a ring finger. Ring finger. I did it again because I have a ring on my index finger. The index finger and then the ring finger usually just like crawls up behind it, the rest of the fingers, and then the pinky is just like glued to the ring finger. Oh my goodness. These two fingers, ring and pinky, are like one being usually. One will be like rolled up a little bit more than the other. Like the pinky usually gets like even tighter. So like the ring finger will like roll up, but then the pinky will roll up even more. Like it's even further behind. But generally, like if one's folding, the other one's folding. I think it's actually like really hard to get your ring finger to independently close without like closing your pinky. I think some people can do it. It's just, like some people just have like different dexterity with their fingers. But especially me, like I barely, like even then you can see like the pinky curls up a little bit. If I had to guess, it's probably like the tendons here are like really tight together. So like if you close one, like it kind of like triggers the other. Or maybe it's just like a muscle memory reflex kind of thing. There we go. Nice big hand. Maybe even too big of a hand. Right there. Then that's also the perfect time to see his watch. Flashy. He's beyond material needs for things. Except for, nice watches. Realistically, this would probably be like an heirloom from his father. Or maybe just like one that he bought like one with his first big paycheck. Or from his first big hit if you really want to go there. Hey, don't say nothing about nothing, capiche? Sorry, I'm trying to think about how the cloth folds on itself. Generally, you want to kind of like flow like it's hanging off the body. It's like a really simple way to like make sure that the wrinkles of a shirt feels like tied to the physics of the person that it's clinging onto. Is to just like, okay, you can imagine like the picture of the person underneath it. So it's like, how would just like a straight piece of cloth hang off the shoulder? It would just go straight down. Or, like how is it going to hang off the shoulder? It's probably because it's like tied here. That's where like the joint is on the shirt. I mean, I do a lot. So everything's kind of going to like hang down. And then like here's where it's going to hit. It's going to hit the forearm because the arm is lifted up. So it's all going to drape down the shoulder towards it, and then I get locked up in this joint. So it's probably going to be a lot of cloth in the joints. That's generally a trend that you see with like all clothes, especially if it's baggy. Is that like it'll just like get a little bit thicker towards the joints of like everywhere. So like the shoulders, the elbow, of course, and then the wrist. And then the only difference is sometimes the wrist has like a really tight cuff. So that's the only exception. If you have like a sweaters usually have like a really tight cuff towards the wrist, but then it's like really baggy as soon as the cuff is gone. Like towards the forearm, it's a little bit baggier. Sorry, my friend messaged me something. Just give me like 2 seconds. This is really a nice little fold. Sorry, I got it like a little enraptured by my own fingers. Can I call these my fingers if they're a drawing that I made? I'm gonna call them my fingers. You can't stop me. It's pretty good so far. I think there's just like a little bit of awkwardness, well, here and there that we still gotta like tweak and render. So far, so good. Whoa. My dog just rushed in and leaving the door open very rudely. I have a back scratcher that I use just to close the door because I'm that kind of lazy. All right, let's look at the dog for a second. He decided to become the star of the show. Sorry, that's towards the camera. One second. Can I get it? Come on. Higher. There he goes. Just right here. Just look at him. Now there's no way for me to change the camera without like completely ruining everything. You can see him, right? He's just going to town. No shame. This really is the worst dog I've ever seen. Alright, that's enough. Enough bullying. Sorry for the blinding camera. Or sorry, blinding light. There you go. He's a really funny dog. He's got a silly face. Trimming up the eyelash again. For some reason, the eyelashes look so needlessly plump. Plump's a funny word. Sometimes I want characters with really plump eyelashes, and then sometimes not at all. This is, maybe it's just like, where is the weight? There we go. Looking good. Looking very good. I should probably finish with the sleeve, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the scarf real quick. Because the scarf's also pretty important to the outfit. Kind of makes him look like he's all bundled up and hiding. He kind of dresses like somebody that's like trying to like not show his face, or you know, trying to like hide. I think that was also like an intentional design decision where I was like, I want him to look like he's like wrapped up and bundled up, like he's trying to avoid being seen, but kind of like accidentally just draws a whole bunch of attention to himself. It's like, you know, like, oh, I don't want people to, you know, like see me. I need to have a disguise, and then like the disguise ends up being like so insane that it just like makes everybody stare at him. It's not that bad, you know, like people would like maybe like look at him because, you know, he's wearing bright red like a freaking matador, but it wouldn't be like, oh, like this is an alien, you know, like out of a spaceship. It's more like, oh, this is an old guy who doesn't know how to dress. Moving on, like, you know, like enough to catch the eye, but still not like crazy where it's like, okay, he needs to be put in an asylum. That's a really funny idea. It's like imagining somebody having a costume so crazy that's just like, oh, this guy needs to go to jail. We need to put this man in a prison. It's like, did you wear plaid on pinstripe? Right here, officer. Right over here. Put this man in jail. He mixed a pattern with another pattern. He's obviously insane. I'm surprised none of us have been hurt yet. I'm sorry, did you mix black socks with black shoes? You're done. You're done, kid. No. Don't even clock out. What is he clocking out from? I don't know. In this joke, just whatever. But you're done. You thought you could get away with it? Nah. Nobody. Oh yeah, lots of wrinkles and fold on the hand. Got old man hands. He's gonna have like veins, everything. I'm definitely gonna have to like refine the hand later, but this is good for at least like the second round of sketch. The final sketch is probably when we get like all the details. How are we doing on time? We probably got like another hour and a half before I'm done. So we're like halfway through the stream, I think. Hold on, let me double check. We're an hour and a half in, got an hour and a half to go. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, like right now I'm thinking about like, it starts the, hold on a second. I think we're good. Okay. Sorry, I had to move the mic away. I forgot how loud that is. Oh, sorry. So yeah, the cloth is like pinched up here, so everything's kind of like gonna flow from his armpit, and then like kind of like sag down here towards the edge of the elbow. And then it's gonna like, you know, like move in, move out, and it's gonna like, some of them aren't gonna reach all the way to the elbow, some of them are gonna like stop a little early. But like generally the trend of everything should like go towards, pinch towards the elbow. Hold on, I think I got like a hair on my nose that's like tickling. I'm gonna put some hand sanitizer on because I don't know. Rubbing your nose and then rubbing everything else is gonna probably not a great idea. Close, you cunt. Sorry. The C word is not a very bad word in my brothers, amongst my brothers. We literally can't curse with each other and we hate cursing. Sorry, that's not the right word. We don't like when we curse around each other. like whenever we're hanging out with friends, because when it's just inside the house, absolutely not. But then the one word we use 24/7 all the time is the word cunt. Like it doesn't make me flinch, doesn't make me like, it's literally like breathing for us, and it's really funny. Because we also have to like make sure we'll let other people know, like, oh, if my brother calls me a cunt, that's just normal. Like don't worry about it. Because like other people will flinch, and it's like no, it's fine. Don't worry. You get used to it if you're gonna like hang out with us for too long. Isn't, you know, advisable? No. But it's fun. I like having like just a curse word that's like, it's literally like considered like one of the worst curse words like you could say to somebody, and it's like, no, it's just normal. It's kind of like Australians, like it's just everywhere. It's just all over the place. I think that's even probably where it first started from, where we just saw like how frequently it was used in Australia, and we were like, it's just like slowly been adopted. Then we realized like, oh, our immigrant parents don't understand what that word means. We can get away with this, you know, like us being, you know, edgy teenagers, like everybody, all boys are at some point. Sorry, I'm just like kind of drawing lines, drawing lines. So we're just like slowly getting a feel for what's right for this jacket. How tight are the sleeves? Okay, so they got a little bit of drape to them, you know, a little bit of clinginess to the guns, the muscles. I gotta change the color accidentally. Use the color picker. This song is loud. Sorry, sometimes I think like the songs have like really sharp sounds on accident. And it's supposed to, you know, like it's supposed to like draw your attention, but it like literally like breaks my thought process sometimes. Like whenever I'm editing these videos and I'm like choosing songs, sometimes I'll be like, the song is just like slightly so loud that it's like distracting, and I hate that. It's like they're good songs. They're just, you know, like I'm looking for songs that are like just cruise, you know, like you don't really have to think about it. They're just nice, pleasant in the background. Sometimes they can be really like really enjoyable. Like I love Two North. He has a couple songs that are just like really just loud and in your face, but they're like still chill enough that like it's not gonna like break my thought process. They're just like really good songs. Just off the top of my head, I know More God has made a couple good tracks. I think one of my favorite ones is J-Folk right now. J-Folk is great. And there might be another one, but there's a lot of good artists on this label. It's chill hop music. You can see their like link down below if you want to also use it, I guess. As far as being claimed, it gets claimed by the automatic like ID, because like they do have like a copyright, they just don't enforce it. Kind of like some artists in music business. I think BB No Money like lets people use it on their YouTube videos all the time. So what happens is that YouTube automatically like it will just claim it without like asking anybody. Like they have it in their computer, they have it in their like system, and then whenever they'll just like flag it. But then it's up to the copyright holder whether or not they want to actually like push anything on it, like, you know, like force you to be unmonetized or anything like that. Or I think specifically taking the monetization, like they can just like be like, nope, this is your money, now mine. It's not exactly like that. It's if there's any money made off this video, it's gonna go towards me. And I don't know if it's like a portion or all of it. I don't really know the specifics. Or if, you know, they want to do something else, like just take down the video straight up. Like if they're just like, nope, we don't want to use it, you to use it at all. We're not gonna force you to make money off of it. Or we're not gonna take your money, but we're also not gonna let you make any more money from this video. You know, that's just YouTube copyright system. It's really hard. It's really annoying. Part of it makes sense. Part of it is just annoying. I'm not a super big fan of, you know, like the idea of like copyright. I think people get a little bit too tight about it, where it's like, you know, like, what do you mean the artist can't make money off their own stuff? It's like, no one's saying that. Like, but it's like, do we want to prevent other people from being able to make money off of your stuff too? And that's the issue. And it also becomes an issue whenever other people can take your art and monetize it before you can. That's also the issue. Where it's just like, sometimes other people are able to monetize it way better than you, the person who made the thing. So that's where the issues really start to come up, where it's like, I want to make a product out of my art. I want to sell my art, sell my music, sell whatever. But then, like somebody else sells it better than me. And that's an issue. But, like, is that like a moment that we want like the market to decide? I'm not like a big free market kind of guy. Like, I don't think that stuff like it really exists. There should be regulation and all that kind of stuff. But I also am not like 100% sure whether or not like copyright is like the solution or it's just like the best that we got. I'm much more of a fan of collaboration, letting things be open and free, because I think art is just better when people can just take from art and make it into something better. It's just, when people are lazy or, like intentionally taking money to make as much money off of your work with as little work as possible, like AI. Gotta let the dog out. But yeah, AI is an example of like, it'd be nice if it was like an actual collaborative project between people where they ask the artist like, hey, can we use your art for this super cool AI project? And then, we could maybe like give you a portion of the monetization whenever the AI is used by somebody. But they don't do that. They just take the art and then they're like, okay, now we're gonna sell it. And if pieces of your art end up like showing up, or pieces are made that are like very much inspired by your art, or like very directly using logic made from what we learned looking at your art, you get nothing. That's our money now, because we made a code. Which, I mean, like obviously they should have like some ability to make money off of it, but the fact that we are completely cut out of the process when there would be no AI without us, that's where the issue lies. And there's probably very easy ways to make it. It's just not gonna make the people as much money. So they're gonna try to like avoid it for as long as they can. And it doesn't really seem like anybody in the government is incentivized to actually care or find a good solution that would like satisfy everybody. Or not even satisfy everybody, satisfy the people who actually matter in the situation, which are the people who make the art in the first place. Like, I think people who make AI should be happy with what they get, because, they're just taking from artists in the first place. This isn't a situation where it's like, okay, how do we make people who made the AI code happy? It's like, doesn't really matter. They're taking from us to begin with. It's like, I'm not saying they shouldn't make any money off of it, because, AI is a complex process, like the engineering that goes behind it. Even if it's like self-learning AI, there's still like probably a lot of like back-end stuff that you have to work in order to make it an actual program for people to monetize. But again, it's at the expense of the people who make the artwork in the first place. And again, they're not incentivized to like properly compensate the art that they're training the AI with. They could if they really wanted to, but they don't. It's a situation where it's like, if they had like an opt-in, if they ever had like an opt-in for this, where it's like, oh, just click this box and we'll be able to use your art. Like if that was the situation, like DeviantArt was working on it, and then immediately people started getting upset because nobody consented to having their art being used to AI for DeviantArt to then sell for their own artwork without any compensation or credit to the people who like helped to build that, as far as like the art that went into the program. But now they have like a little check-in box where it's like, now you can literally suggest like, okay, you can use my art if you like. If that was the first move instead of after people got mad, it'd be kind of okay. There'd still be like a lot of qualms with it, because like people don't like AI art, and then people also don't really appreciate their art being used to eventually supplant art. Like art is supposed to be the situation where you can't make an AI, or you can't automate past it. It needs some sort of like creativity from human beings. And right now we're pretty safe. Like AI art sucks. Like, I mean, there's like some pretty good ones, but it's still like not great. You don't get like the personalization, you don't get like the conceptualization, and it's all very samey, where it's like the art styles can't really, there's only so many art styles that it can replicate because a lot of art is very, it's like very particular to like specific artists too. Like my art is like a very specific blend of like my own inspirations. And like I like depicting things that like specifically appeal to me. So you won't get that through AI, but some people won't care. Some people won't care. Like what's really made me sad is like I think the people who use it the most are people who are in a situation that legitimately could have benefited artists. Like I see a lot of like D&D specifically. I see a lot of people who make like D&D characters, like headshots and stuff like that. And that's stuff that's like legitimately monetized for like very cheap by actual artists. Like you can get like $20 headshots or like $10 headshots for like your character. And it's like, well, people aren't even gonna think about it now because like you could do it for free or very cheap on a lot of these apps. Like I remember there's before even like this huge AI explosion, there was like just like a art blender or like an art shopper. I don't know what it was called, but it was like this one where you can like there's like a dial for like how old do you want the character to look, and it was specifically just for like NPC headshots. And even that, it's like like that's already like taking money out of the pocket for like actual artists. It won't kill it, like it's not, like again, like there's always going to be room for that, like there's always going to be a need for that like artistic eye and all that. And like the creative conceptualization, the creative decisions is always going to have to be made by humans. But it's like there's going to be a lot of damage on the way. There's going to be a lot of money being taken, like potential for money being taken out of people's pockets on the way. And that's the part that really sucks. Like we used to be able to monetize low stake stuff, like like I said, NPC headshots that would be used like a couple times. And you could argue whether or not people would ever like want to use it. It's like, yeah, not everybody wanted to pay for thumbnails, and probably would never have to spend the money on thumbnails. Like I can imagine I would never spend money on them because I can just draw my own. But still, like I legitimately like know situations where like people have like asked about like art being made from me, and then like later down the line I see them use AI art, and it's like it doesn't like break my heart or anything. It sucks. It does suck, and I get it too. It's like it's free. Why wouldn't you? There's no like logistical reason why you would put money down, especially if like you didn't like my prices. Like I get it, but I think that does like show that AI directly can take from people's pockets. Like it directly, even in the small scale situation, it can take like a couple dollars away. Maybe like $10, maybe like $5, but it's still money that could have gone to supporting somebody. Anyways, that's enough about AI. AI is depressing. Government and politics is depressing. Everything's depressing. We're here for talking about art, not AI art, which is a real art. I don't even know if that's true. Like, I really don't like want to hate art that much or AI that much. But it's just, like, again, whenever you can tell, like, oh, the people who are like in charge of these aren't being respectful or, like doing this with the best of intention. Like, they are intentionally, like, they see all the red flags. They are seeing people like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go this direction. Maybe we should think about what we're doing. And then you see them intentionally just like, nope, we're going to charge right through. We're going to go right past it. Like, I think one of the, reminds me of, what was it? I think it was one of the AI guys. He was like a CEO for some company. Like the CEO board completely ousted him because he was like, I guess like going too fast or advancing towards something that they didn't think they could monetize as well. And he like completely went around the board, the head of the board. I'm sorry, I don't know the words for this, but basically, he threatened to make his own company that would like compete, and then Microsoft held back it where it was like, okay, we'll just go with you in the new company, if you're gonna leave the company. And then they ended up having to like completely give in to his demands, and it's just like they are just so fervently in belief that they have to progress, they have to keep going without like stopping and thinking about like the consequences. And it's because they just have like some kind of belief that like no matter what it happens with it, it's gonna be better. It's like no matter what they do with it, it's gonna be an improvement to what we have now. And I don't think that's true. You can make things worse. Discoveries can make things worse. They discovered America and then made it a lot worse. There was a potential to do things in a responsible way with respect for everybody involved that doesn't get people hurt. And then there's just cruising through right past it because you couldn't be stopped. Because why do you care? Why would you care? You couldn't be bothered to look at the people at the side of the road that could have gotten hurt. But otherwise, AI is dope. When you don't consider all those topics, AI is cool. All those news articles that are talking about this is what AI did this time. It is kind of awesome. Even as hurt as I am by it. I'm also a computer nerd. I like IT support and just seeing the new technology that comes around the corner with all these new features. I always like being interested in that kind of stuff. But it's there's an appreciation there for it from me. But it's also fear. There's also concern. And I think there are legitimately good ways to do it and use it and monetize it. But no one seems to care. It's almost even the idea of asking them to slow down is offensive to them. And there's even a lot of jealousy or 1 second. There's a lot of I don't know what to call it, anger, malice in it. Or a lot of oh, now you guys are mad because you guys are getting automated. We were telling people that automation is great, and whenever other people were losing their jobs, it's not really. Again, it's the same thing. Automation. If I mentioned this in one of my other streams, but automation isn't bad inherently, but automation, while capitalism is still the name and game of the system, when everything is still built around capitalism, and shorting workers for as much as employers can get out of them. That is what makes automation bad. Automation for the sake of communism, where people can actually not have to work and things are provided for them so they don't have to work all the time, is great. But then whenever it's in capitalism where people are going to get cut out of it, people who can't serve capital are just going to be cut out of their livelihood. They're done. You're fired. You're gonna have to find something else that hasn't been automated, if there is something that hasn't been automated yet. That's what makes it awful. It's automation for the sake of improving capital and money and the economy is terrible. But automation when it's for the sake of improving humanity and the people and the livelihood of people is great. There's good automation. Automation is inevitable and great whenever it's done for the benefit of people as a whole, not just the people who have the money, not just the people who have capital and businesses. It's already almost every single company has some kind of AI division or some kind of experimentation with AI in even things that you wouldn't expect to need it. Travel companies have AI programs because they want AI that can find the best deals or find the best deals for them from there and what they could sell to people. And that's what's really annoying about AI is that it's kind of more of a business, AI for business, and then sometimes you can get a fun toy here and there instead of AI for the sake of improving and making it so people don't have to work as often. There's no wage increase that's going to be coming from all this automation, and that's what makes it doomer and terrible. That's in my opinion, anyways. I think that's what makes the most sense to me. I got a little distracted trying to smooth everything out. I don't know if anything looks good right now. I've been too locked in. Sometimes I shut off my brain and just keep working on one area for too long. Let's see. So the hands look great. I think maybe the only thing is I need to push the thumb into the hat a little bit more. Okay. So let's completely move off from AI before like I start screaming and losing my mind. Me and my brothers got tickets to a concert, and I'm insanely excited about it. It's gonna be in Raleigh. Knocked Loose, a hardcore band that we really got into. We just loved their like Deep in the Willow, and I forgot what the other song is. But they have like 2 songs that were just like incredible. That were just like incredible hardcore songs. You know, like these loud, interesting, great, like shrieking vocals, amazing drumming, just like awesome. And then also one of my favorite bands is going to be touring with them, Show Me the Body, who I've already seen them in the concert. And they are, so far, album after album, I've been a big fan. They've done a bunch of like rallies for Palestine, which isn't relevant to the music, it's just something I like about them. But they just have like really great messaging, like the lyrics are like really just like in your face and just aggressive in a very satisfying way. And then like the instrumentation, just like how intense the vocals are with the guitars, and they also use like banjos too that give like a really like menacing vibe to everything. It's like really great. Show Me the Body, Knock Loose. I think the other bands are Loathe and Speed. Those 2 I haven't looked into. I'm probably gonna give them a listen before the concert at some point. But yeah, I'm 100% down. I'm 2,000% down. Also, the venue is like a place that I like, mainly because Inshallah, they have, I don't know why I did that for Inshallah. Wait, do they do the prayer? Anyways, Inshallah, they have seats above everybody. So me as a short person, I can actually buy elevated seats that are like high above everybody, and I can actually see the bands and not have to participate in the freaking, you know, what is it when everybody fights in a pit? Is it called the pit? Is that just all it is? Hang on 1 second. Bands, audience, fight, pit. Is it gonna put it up? Ejected from the pit. The mosh pit. That's what it is. Mosh pit. The rings. I just realized this watch isn't organized correctly, or it's not like the perspective on the watch wasn't right. It's like a normal, nice metal watch. Not like a Casio or anything super unique, just steel, nice metal band. Just think it matches his vibes really not well. And then he has his wedding ring, I think, still. He's got like a thumb ring, and then on his right hand he has the wedding ring or wedding band. He's long since divorced too, but he's one of those guys that just keep the rings on anyways.
Oh, excuse me. Stretch.
Big stretch.
Bumping into trouble like a rebels where I came. See the flame shine bright. They were puzzled how I'm saved. I could never serve the passion or the fire.
I think I'm getting really tired.
Off a sight how I am. Ain't nobody asking, I've been basking in my liberty, cause slavery is real. Doesn't mean the shackles gotta be revealed. Fighting with my pen, that's the closest thing to steal. And
back to work, 1 second.
There's value in the word, gotta figure out the real. I'm juggling and wrestling thoughts in my mind. The influence was heavy, or the faults even mine. Label still persuading like I'm needing a dime. Like my people ain't be dying.
I don't know what that is on a watch. I don't know if that's like 12:30 or something. Right? We're not gonna think too hard about it.
Still numb to the trauma I couldn't tell if my joy was out of love or what would hold me when I needed me a hug. That's the realest. Yeah, that's the closest thing to feeling. Yeah.
I have a very rounded shoulder, but I'm not sure if I should.
Closer to the Lord, cause maybe He can open up some doors. Why these words get to show you all my flaws. There's poetry and pain, blessing in the chain, pictures I could paint. Yeah, there's poetry and pain, blessings in the chain, pictures I could paint.
I think I like the pointier look a little bit better.
Blessing in the chain, pictures I could paint. Yeah, there's poetry.
Kind of makes him look like an evil villain, but it's not the intended goal. The Salubri also have like a warrior streak to them too. It's gone down, like especially after the Dark Ages. It used to be a lot more common. 1 second. The lyrics are distracting me. I don't know if it's bothering anybody else, but I turned it down on my end. And I'm gonna probably make a lot of these folds just like, I'll probably just paint them in instead of actually having lines to denote them. Yeah, it looks better to me. Trying to get the belt to look right too, because it's going to be like a little rounded from our perspective because we're looking down at the belt, but then also it's going to have to like fold over the jacket too, because the jacket's going to have to like be pressed closer to him, so it's going to like dig out into the belt a little bit and then dig right back in. If you ever worn like a tucked in shirt, you know, like it pulls out, it pulls in. It's not like a clean line unless you have it like really tight. Like if there's any kind of like looseness to it, it'll just like fold over the top side of the belt. How far is it? Like directly in the center? It is directly in the center. Just like this. Let me pull out the original real quick. Let me take out the bench. Did I draw where his other hand went? Oop. Okay, so his hand should be going over the top. So I think maybe his shoulder should be a little bit more rounded forward on that arm. It's a little bit like a more detailed than it probably warrants, but I think that's probably what I should do, is to make the pose feel a little bit more real. Because the back arm like does like, his right arm does kind of like fold down, so it kind of just goes straight with the jacket. but the other arm is going to be pointing forward, so the shoulder should come up a little bit closer to the camera. So we'll see if I can draw that in, or if it makes any sense at all. So what I'm saying is basically like it's gonna roll forward a bit, so it should be like a shallower angle here, or convex. Like it shouldn't be as like sharp as the other side, because this part of the shoulder is gonna be coming up more. Do his arm folded at all? Doesn't look like it, but maybe I should. Wait a second, where's this thing? Okay, never mind, I'm right. We don't have to draw all the way here, because again, it's probably going to be covered up by the bench, especially down here, because the bench should be like right here. But it just so like I can make it consistent with the upper body, I just like draw a little bit extra of the lower body, just to make sure everything's all kind of like has its a logic to it. There we go, that's perfect. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like a little bit of twist to the cloth. And I think I got like this right here. Hold on, I'm gonna use this right here. Oh, wow, I just said this right here 3 times. Let me give it like a big color. There we go, bright. Okay, so wrist right here. This is probably my favorite part of this whole drawing right now, because that fold where it just like, you can see that the clothes just like drips across the arm. You can kind of tell on the other side, but it's really pronounced here because the other side isn't twisted that much. It's like pretty straight, like, you know. Let me see if this shows up on camera. So here is basically the arm where all it's really doing is just folding up and then maybe twisting a little bit in the forearm, but it's not that pronounced. There's gonna be a little bit of twist in the forearm. It's not super strong. But the other side, the entire arm is twisted. So like, instead of just, you know, hang on, camera. Instead of just being like this, it's actually the entire arm and shoulder is rolled forward. So that's why there's a little bit more pronounced of a twist that you can see in the clothes. And especially with the, just like a little bit of bend, just a little bit of bend. So it's straight, then just a little bit of bend. That's gonna really like make the twist a little bit more noticeable. So I'm really happy with that. Like, not too much. All you need is just a little bit of a gesture where you can see like, oh, the clothes is like being pulled towards this side. And then it kind of like completely characterizes the clothes. You know, like how loose it is, what like is the muscle underneath everything. I just realized I did that arrow on one layer, so let me keep on doing it. There we go. So yeah, I really am happy with how that looks. Just let me trim this little off. Sometimes I know whenever I leave things too open to interpretation, it gets a little confusing. It's like it makes complete sense in my head whenever there's like all these stray marks, but then I realize like, oh, other people don't know what's going on in my dome. In me dome. I was having conversations in my head just a minute ago, which is why I was like completely locked in. And I'm only realizing now, like, wait, why was I talking to myself in my head? I mean, not earlier. Like, I know I was talking to you guys, but sometimes I imagine like possible conversations with people that I know. So like, I was having like a conversation with one of my friends in my head, and I don't know why I was doing that. I mean, I think I just shut my brain off generally when I'm drawing. And I don't know if this is normal for people, but like I would legitimately like imagine like if I'm talking to my friend, like conversations that could come up, arguments that I could be having, like legitimately I would like put myself in arguments that never existed or have no reason to exist. It's almost like a little bit of like paranoia where I think I'm gonna argue with somebody, and so like I kind of like prepare myself like, okay, if this person starts arguing with me about this thing, then I'm gonna bring up this thing. You know, like if I'm ever like in an argument with like a significant other, then I'm gonna bring up this. You know, like I'm gonna tell them like, this is my line, this is my boundary, blah 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 blah. Like literally no one's asking for my boundaries, but for some reason in my head sometimes I'll just like have a conversation where I'm yelling at somebody, just like telling them like, this is wrong to me because blah 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 blah. It's like, I don't know why I do it, but it is just something that I do. You know, it is what it is. Folds and close really does take a lot of practice. Like you'll just like start to notice like how to like communicate the flow of clothes a lot better, just like with a lot of practice, and like noticing like the different kinds of fold that you usually see. Like something I've noticed is like clothes will like, let's say this is the shirt or this is the muscle underneath it. We're gonna say this is like the chest muscle, and then this is the shirt just over it. So you'll notice like there'll be like lines pulling down because it's hitting like the collarbone and the shoulders and then hanging down from there. So you'll notice like a lot of like shirts will just have like lines straight down the middle. Or like another thing I've noticed is like sometimes it'll wrinkle over, come back in, touch the skin directly. So you'll see like these little pockets where like it just touches the skin directly here, but it's like loose everywhere else. But it'll have like places where like it rests on the skin. And if that makes any sense. So like here, I'm gonna grab another color. Here's where like a little bit of the muscle pokes through. So you can see here touching directly on the skin, and it's getting like completely in there. More like here, because this is more like a pocket. So this is the place where it's directly on the arm, and not like there's like no difference in communication. Like there's no wrinkle, there's no fold. It's just skin, cloth directly on top. Both of them are like perpendicular basically, if that makes any sense. But that's just like a little pocket, and then like the folds drag underneath it. So like now the fold will go over it, and because there's going to be like a little place where it's not connected, it's separating from the skin, if that makes any sense. There's going to be like a little deep pocket that's going to fold back into like the greater cloth. If that makes any sense. I think I'm explaining myself kind of well. It'll like dip in, it'll dip out. Oop, 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 oop. It's all on one layer. Why do I keep doing this on one layer? Yeah, that's the thinking behind that. And I think we're basically done with all the folds. Let me see if I can maybe get in like maybe one or two more. racer. And then, like I mentioned before, it's good. Most like shirts will like from the torso will just like hang off the shoulders, so it just ends up being like straight lines straight down. Oh, I forgot to mention, I actually charged my tablet and pen before I did today's stream, so now everything's all set up properly, which normally I don't. Does he have earrings? He feels like an earrings kind of guy. Nah, he might be too old school. That's fine. How does that look? Looking good. I think just maybe a little bit of wrinkles towards the bottom of the pants. Just, you know, they won't really show up. This is a little bit of a tough area. Like the pelvis is really hard, especially with like a trench coat, because trench coats, they make complete sense until they don't, which is especially towards the waist and hip area, because trench coats move past that. If they're like, if you sit down, you spread your legs, what happens to the trench coat? They kind of just like open up and then do like really weird folds. It's the same with pants. Pants are also a little awkward, but they're a little bit better built for it. It's not like terrible. And you know, like obviously they're designed to still work even when you sit down. So they do have a fold, you know, they do fold well, you know, like that. It's not like a complete stiff brick whenever you sit on it, so you're just like using it as a chair basically. But kind of what happens is it will like fold in towards the pelvis, almost like when you're wearing pants. You'll have like this little triangle here, so this is where the hip bone is, right here. So waist, then it'll dig back out towards the hip bone. This right here, that's like where the bottom of the hip meets the top of the leg. Leg, hip. Oh, hold on. Torso, hip, leg. Obviously, women have wider hips. Guys are kind of just straight. This is more of like a male torso, but it still like digs out a little bit, but it's mostly straight. You know, you can have like slightly like wide hips, but they're not going to be significantly, usually, especially compared to the shoulders. Shoulders are usually way more broad. And obviously, there are men with wide hips. There are men with small shoulders. It happens. It's just who you are. I was very lucky. I was born with very wide shoulders. So like I looked kind of like fit even when I was fat. I mean, you can see the gut, like there's no hiding it. But at least as far like these shoulders, you kind of could come off as like maybe you're like a fat guy that lifts weights. But anyways. Then obviously he's wearing pants underneath it, so it's also gonna get like similar like folds. How does it look on the camera? Or how does it look on the reference? Anyways. So yeah, just to show you what it looks like. The pelvis would be like here, this like triangle shape. And then obviously this is flattened out because this is where the groin is and you don't have a pointy part there. Then the leg is gonna be here, all the way down. And then, you know, they're gonna be positioned however you want. Usually people have enough flexibility that they can, you know, sit down, lift their legs up a little bit higher, maybe not like all the way to their chest, but you know, like you can close up like maybe like here without like any training. As long as you're healthy and, you know, you're not like significantly like stiff, like you don't have any like stiffness from any kind of like condition that you have, or you just never have stretched once in your life in your adulthood, or you have bad joints. Then obviously you get a little bit of the butt cheek, a little bit of the thigh. These are muscles that like just generally you won't really see very pronounced unless they're very muscular or they're very bodacious, if you want to use that word. Like some people just are naturally gifted with big bottoms. But generally, you want to start with characters that are like sticks, and then you can shift everything around. The only exception is people who have like really big thighs. Like you have to kind of design that from the start, because you don't just add fat. Like it's trying to draw like one just off the top of my head. So this is like a normal quote unquote female pelvis, wider than the shoulders. This is where the legs start. They fold inward a little bit, and then they just go like straight down. This is a very rough, obviously not all women, blah 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 blah. But if you really want like a big bottom, then you're gonna have to go like shoulders, torso, very wide, because like that scoop inward is gonna be much more pronounced. Like the legs, you kind of have to like design that from the start. You can't just like add fat and then just be like, yep, that's normal women. You have to like also widen the hips and then change the angle of the legs. But yeah. Why am I doing that? I need to control and do everything. Oop. That's not an eraser. Generally, you don't want to detail it too much in the crotch area. I think I get a little bit too like obsessed with like making it realistic and trying to think everything through. But usually people are just like fine if you just leave it at like there, and just draw like the line of like the sewing of the pants that goes straight down the middle. You can do like this little zipper cover. Then you can have like maybe a few wrinkles here and there. Generally, that's all you have to do. But I like to like try to actually like think about the angle of everything. Because like I usually draw people naked and then draw the clothes over them. So like I'll think about like, okay, how are their clothes gonna wrap around this section and this section and this section. You don't really need to, and honestly, it kind of makes it worse whenever you think too hard about like every single crack and crevice and wrinkle. You can like overthink yourself to making like something that just looks awkward. But I try to get like it decently well, like decently close to what I think it should be. Then from here, I'm definitely not going to be going any further, because now it definitely. Like I said, the how the clothes will drape over everything is pretty tough. Like the back of the trench coat, because you have to like sit on the back of your trench coat, so it kind of just gets bunched up. So parts of it you're sitting on, parts of it are like rolled up underneath you, and it can get really uncomfortable. Like whenever it's like uneven on your bottom. Oh goodness! What time is it? We've got like another 30 minutes. We could probably finish up this like second pass of sketching. Maybe just barely get started on like a final pass of everything. Then the bottom of the chair would be like here. Yeah, but that's gonna get covered up by the pew anyways. Yeah, this is pretty good. Let me just see if I can notice any more details. I just realized, yep. There's gonna be like a little strap here where it's the belt goes underneath the jacket. I don't know why there's a waistband here, but I also didn't design the jacket. I just used it from a magazine. But I do know that like having like a waistband on a trench coat really does look nice because it kind of like makes it so you can see like the body underneath without showing too much. You know, like you don't want to like make your figure too revealing. Like it's like people who wear shirts too tight. It just kind of looks weird. But the waistband is like a nice like a little bit of like you can see a little bit more of like the figure underneath without, you know, completely just making it like air suction tight, vacuum sealed, you know, seeing every single curve of musculature. That's not necessary. That's going a bit too far. Also, the lapels kind of have like more of a curve this way. Let's see. Is there a shirt pocket? Oh, he does have like a weird stitching to it, to the shoulder, so let me do that. They kind of like dig in towards here. They do anything on the shoulders? It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's literally just there. Then there's also lines going down the center, like it's like split into 4 pieces. There's like one line down the middle and then one line down the middle of those sections, like a quarter of the way. So like here is one, trying to like make it go over the wrinkles. Just like that. And then just one for the other side. So like right here, and then like right here, dips in, digs back out. Just a little rough, you know, like just let it be a little rough. But yeah, there's that one. And there's also like a visible stitching, like threading here. And then nothing special for the arms. The arms are just the one piece. One piece. Gallo, gallo, gallo. I missed that. I never liked One Piece, but I did like the intro on WB for Kids. Man, that takes me back. I used to watch that so much. What was that one show? It was like a card show. It was like Chaos Beast? Chaos something? 1 second. Chaos Cards? WB for Kids Chaos game. Maybe just card game show. They're like kids. Well, obviously chaotic. There it is. I remember. I grew up watching like Yu-Gi-Oh. I think that's the only card one. Pokemon, but that's not a card game. But it kind of was like in that similar vein where like there was like creatures and everything. I never understood Yu-Gi-Oh because of that. I think Pokemon kind of broke me. Oh wait, no, Pokemon is a card game. I forgot about that. It's not a card game in the show. In the show, they play it straight. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, they legitimately are cards. It's just they also can show you, you know, they like there's creatures inside the cards. But yeah, where's chaotic? I don't remember chaotic being bad. Chaotic was pretty fun. I can like barely find anything about this. This is crazy. It's just like another like kids card game. Hold on, let me show you. For some reason, the only thing that's coming up is like the games that like came out years ago. Is it showing it? Where is it? Hold on. For some reason, it's not popping up. Let me share my memories. Put it up here. There it is. There it is. So it was like this like cartoon show. Basically, it was almost like exactly like Yu-Gi-Oh! Whereas like they had cars and, you know, like there would be creatures in the cards. I don't think any of the creatures had like personalities or anything like they did in Pokemon. Like Pokemon, they were like living beings, and in Yu-Gi-Oh, they're kind of just like voiceless things, with some exceptions. Show. Copy image. Turn that off. So yeah, there was just like one of those like shows from like the 2000s where I don't really know. It was just like I don't know if it was trying to be Pokemon, if it was trying to be Yu-Gi-Oh. I just remember enjoying it, but it wasn't great either. I don't think it was like really. It's kind of like Bakugan. Bakugan was good, but it wasn't like, you know, like life changing as a kid. You know, like some shows are just like they'll stick with you forever. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like if you watch that as a kid, it really stuck with you. You know, like Naruto, at least for me, it stuck with me. Some of those early like kid shows, like some of them just fell by the wayside. They just weren't really that grabbing. And obviously it's different for different people. I'm sure there's some chaotic fan somewhere out there. Anyways, little distraction that just popped up in my head. Anyways, doing pretty good on this. I think, is there anything else I need to do as far as like designs or little notes that might be good before I get into like the final pass? So he only has like 2 buttons up here, 2 buttons down towards the bottom. I think we're okay with just sacrificing that second button. Is his torso too small? Let me look at this as like a whole. How does it look in the setting, like in context of with everything? We can maybe make him a little thinner. He's not supposed to be like a wide character, but he looks maybe just a tiny bit pudgy. Maybe just a little bit more squished. How about longer? What will longer do? That's definitely too much. Maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. He starts to not fit in the setting as much. So I think just a little skinnier is fine, just not any taller. And then one last little test. Can we bring him forward? Really just go crazy with the camera angle. I think I kind of like that. Hold on. Because right here, he's kind of like bunched up against the back of the chair. The other way kind of makes him look like he's facing forward a little bit more. Let me turn off the background. His head is just a little big of the head. I think we're gonna keep this and just shrink the head a bit. Just a tiny bit, because I do like him having a big bald head. Because he is a big bald-headed man. Let me also mark the glasses a little bit more clearly. Like I think the way that these glasses are made, they should like be very pronounced on his head. Almost like the head dent that a lot of gamers have whenever they wear their headphones for too long. I think he should have like a little bit of that as far as his glasses. Give him a head dent. And maybe like trim this down just a little bit. Try to keep like the general shape that I like. And then even put like a little ridge where like this, it's like on the, you can tell like on the skin, it's like pulling up, being pulled up by the glasses. Or maybe his ear's going too far back actually. Hold on. Because I just realized like it's basically his ear was like connecting to the all the way to the back of his head, which is not how that's supposed to go. That's why like the glasses were going like super far along into the distance. Just trying to get it just right. And I could probably put like veins here. Make sure I get some more wrinkles because he is an old man. Got very much a ton of wrinkles. Probably go up here on a little bit. Something fun that I've noticed is that there's the wrinkles kind of like avoid the hairline. I don't know if it's entirely that way, but you'll see like it kind of like has like a scoop where like the wrinkles just won't like go past the little scoop. Like right here, wrinkles will just go like here, 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 but they won't like go any closer to the scoop. That place is like completely clear. I don't know why that is. I think it probably has something to do with like the muscles underneath and how the skin wraps to it, but you know, like I don't know any of that for sure. Then the only other thing is that it looked a little bit heavy on this side. And I think for the rest of the stream, we're just probably going to even everything out. Because if I had to guess, looks a little funny from this angle. So yeah, this shoulder looks a little light. I'm gonna do this with a little like, almost like note. This is looking a little heavy or a little skinny and diminutive. Let's see the background. Looking, he needs to have this little slim down like here to fit in with like the angle of everything a little bit better. Maybe move the eye back a little bit, just like a little bit. Maybe, we'll see. Because the eye doesn't look too weird. Maybe push out the brow a bit more because he should have like a pretty decent brow. Because he's kind of like rolling his back, so I think there should be a little bit more pronounced of a space here. Oop, 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 oop. There you go. Then this leg definitely looks a little fat compared to his other leg, so we're gonna I think maybe it should be like this. It scoops it back over. Oh, I'm trying to get it just right because I also have to consider the angle it's coming from. good to get this done now, because usually this stage is like way too late when people like finally flip the canvas to like even things out. Like on the last drawing, it's a little unbalanced, but it was also like way too far for me to actually like do anything about it, and it wasn't too bad. Like it's not like too slanted. Flipping the canvas really helps you like see what like is kind of like lopsided. Sorry, I'm just making sure the head all works.
Are you leaving me?
We're all leaving. Can you feel me with you right now?
I'm like actually like marking out like the anatomy of the face, like getting in like the muscles and everything how it should be, to like make sure everything's symmetrical and balanced. I don't know why I did this in bright pink. It's very actually like hurting my eyes. Very actually, it's hurting my eyes. Much better. Feel like I smell chicken. There you go, that looks good. I'm gonna erase this big little sphere I got here. There we go, this feels perfect. The only exception, maybe the gut could be long, the torso could be longer towards the bottom. Let me see if I can. Like maybe just a little bit more distance. Let's see how that goes. Okay, there we go. So now, well, let me select, deselect, and then combine these two so we can have them all one layer again. Beep, beep. Probably should have done this like a skeleton before I even like started this drawing. That was probably like a step that I missed. I'm gonna grab this and we're gonna see if I can just like trace over what I got right now. There you go. That feels a little better. Now I just need to fix the face. The face looks a little flat from this angle. I'm gonna add like a little some, just like a little bit of like shading, just to like kind of like remind myself. So the chest. Oh, that's not a multiply. The chest. Let's lower this a lot. Not too much. So the chest should be like here. The like rib cage should like end like here. And the bottom of like the abdomen should be here. This is just kind of like shadows to like remember where everything is. Then like the pelvis. Then this should be shadow. I can maybe push out that knee a little further, although it's not gonna matter because again it's just it's gonna be hit. All that's gonna be hidden by the pew in front of it. Just like that big old bear mitt just on his own leg. Okay. Now we just need to get the face just right. This is really hard to do. Maybe I should make this really dark. So the first thing I'm noticing is maybe push up the nose. This is wrong there. Okay. A little bit of the frown lines here, or smile lines, whichever one. For him, it'd be more frown lines because, you know, Hitman, he probably has been frowning for a very long time. Or maybe not frowning, but maybe more of a grimace. Let me take off the legs just to see how that looks. Just gonna erase that. And then we can do like the lines here. And see how that looks. Nice, 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 nice. I think we got pretty much everything edited on that end. Make his ears a little bit droopy too. The earlobes. He's older, so they'd just be a little droopy, almost like they have piercings. But it's just natural. They just get saggy. Oh, yeah, the other ear. Okay, so let's see the fruits of my labor. Flip. Flip, 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 flip. A little bit more sharpness underneath the nose. It should be a little bit more like this. Just a little bit more on the nose, nose. There we go. And he does have like little freckles everywhere. We're gonna worry about all that later. I think as far as the shape of his head, his jaw, I think now we're all good. I'm gonna just erase a little bit there. Gonna kind of move around his wrinkles a bit to fit in with the lines that I have here. Gonna maybe push his eye just a little bit closer towards the center. Right there. Make the fold of the eye a little bit lower so it doesn't look like it's glaring with wide eyes. It's kind of just very relaxed. When's the Super Bowl? Next week? One second. I got a bunch of family that's all of a sudden sports heads. Oh, I looked up football. Super Bowl. Please type correctly. Yep, next Monday. Just like this. Oh, sorry. I had like a tickle in my ear all of a sudden. I always get freaked out that it's a bug, but it's just me getting into my own head or paranoia. I don't know if that's normal for anybody else, that they get like freaked out that there's a bug in their ear like all of a sudden. I mean, I'm not like panicking, but it's just like I need to just quick like itch just to settle that in my mind. There we go. Maybe just like a little fold here for more wrinkles. There we go. No, I'll leave that there. All right, let's flip it. Just like a little rounder on his other eye, because I noticed that this almost looks like a straight line. That's the wrong layer. Psych, that's the wrong number. Ooh. There we go. Yeah, looks good. Looks really even. Looks maybe not 100%. I think if I had like a real model, it would look like perfect. But I think as far as like keeping one side noticeably even with the other, or sorry, making it look good from both angles, I think this is good. I think maybe just a little juice. Hang on. I keep putting the wrong brush the wrong size. I mean, just a little. Maybe just a little thicker here too. Maybe a little too buff. Okay. Think we're good. Maybe just knock that off. Maybe just do like a little there. Now we're just like tweaking it to make sure everything fits up nicely. Now, there. I think that's good. Let me just flip it one more time just to see. It looks good on that side. Maybe the ear? Maybe the ear needs to be moved a little bit further. Maybe I'm just imagining things. We're just gonna try it and then like erase it if it looks too goofy. Hang on, I'm having trouble figuring it out. One second. I'm gonna go back to this. That's not an eraser. There we go, just like that. Oh, that's the issue. I was wondering why the ears didn't match up at all. Okay, now I think we got it. I don't know why it was so hard to get the ear just right, but alas, it was. Okay. Might even just like cover it in shadow. We'll see. Just so it doesn't like distract too much. But I don't think it looks too bad. Oops, sorry. Alright, now we're gonna call it. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today. Let me go ahead and turn on the background while I go ahead and finish up all the little tidbits. Hold on one second, I'm about to sneeze. This is terrible timing. There we go. I'm gonna turn off his coloring and his line art underneath. That should be good. What if I just, for the sake of the thumbnail, just put him underneath here and raise this up higher? Maybe just a little bit more for this. Fill this in a little bit more so now that he's changed size a little bit. Nope, that's what? That's not even the... I need to double click it. What is happening? There we go. Took a couple tries, but I got there. I'm gonna go over the character a little bit just to help. Then just move this layer so it now fits where his eye is. Can I also just erase? Put a little bit of like dish, a little shmish, a little smoosh, a little smoosh. There we go. All right. So that is where we're gonna leave it for today. Ooh, thank you for joining the stream. Managed to get a pretty long stream in. Got a lot of work done. Basically refined most of it. I think we just need one more pass of like just like final line art to really clean everything up, get all the details that we need to get out of the way. But most of the structure and how the clothes and everything are going to be organized are all there. We're all good. As far as what's going to happen next, we're going to, like I said, finish up the line art. It's probably going to be one stream. If not, maybe getting the flats done. The flats would probably be next. Just like a quick flat, and then after we get the quick flats, that's probably when we're gonna transition into getting some of the background done, because the background is real rough right now. But we're gonna continue to work on it as we go along. So thank you everybody who's here for the stream, whether or not you are here live and just we're just chilling, watching, or whether or not you're gonna be catching up on this stream that goes up on the YouTube, the archive channel. So let me go ahead and give everything a shout out. So check out my Instagram. That's usually where I keep things most up to date as far as all of the art that I work on or whatever I'm doing with my life. I usually post there pretty often, and that's my like main platform for sharing all of my stuff. So Instagram, same channel name as my Twitch. That's Raul A Pena Art. Raul A Pena Art. Raul A Pena _art. There we go. I made the name and I still can't even do it. But so go ahead and check that out. If you don't want to type it in, you can just click it, the link down at the bottom. So check out my Instagram, throw me a like, all those little numbers, I appreciate it, even though I probably should ignore it because for my own mental health, but just a little bit of a parasocial relationship. It makes everything go down easy. Check out my YouTube channels. So I mentioned that earlier. I have two. I have a archive channel, which is just a full stream uploaded into the archive. You can watch and just follow along during a better time for you, because I understand Tuesdays might not be everybody's day, like to get on a stream. And then if you don't have the time to catch up with the full stream, you can watch the other channel, which is the time-lapse channel. So you can watch the entire stream made into a more digestible 4 to 5 minute chunk. This first one's probably going to be a little bit longer because it's actually going to be 2 streams. But yeah, go and check that out if you want to watch my time lapse. And then if you want to watch everything in a much more compact and be able to catch up with my progress. And then whenever I finish a piece, I'd like to do what I call a supercut. So that one went up just this past Wednesday, and it's going to be all the streams from the very first one to the very end, edited down into like 10 to 15 minutes. So you get to watch the first little strokes and the sketchy ideas, and all the way to the final touches where I'm messing with colors, adding lighting, all that kind of stuff. So check that out. Those are really satisfying to do. The supercuts, all the other time lapses if you like, or if you just prefer a live stream format, you can go and watch the archive that's going to go up later. So I'll make sure to get this stream up probably before tomorrow, like tomorrow afternoon. Then I also have a DeviantArt if you want to check out my old account. If you want to see some of my older artwork, I have all of my stuff posted there. You can see where I've come from, some of the cringy stuff that I used to work on. But it is what it is. It's all part of the process of becoming an artist. And then I'm also pretty active on DeviantArt, so if you want, I can check out stuff there too. Let me just. I just realized that this layer should be above it. Let me go and save while I'm talking. So check out my DeviantArt. If you would like me to do a commission for your character, like one of your Vampire the Masquerade characters, or D&D, I have done many D&D characters, or just any character you like from something else. Like if you want me to draw Chainsaw Man, Batman, Superman, whatever you want. I like to just work on characters and to give them those big moments where they can look cool, they can look goofy, they can look stupid. Just whatever you want me to, whatever you think feels right for your character. I really love being able to talk about your characters and just really represent them in the best light that it's going to make you happy. So check out the commission sheet down below. If you don't understand the pricing, you can just go ahead and shoot me an email or a message on Instagram. Just make sure you include a little bit more information about my art or something that you want, because there's a lot of bots on these sites. So just make it very clear that you're not a bot. Just like you're actually looking to get something done. Just something more specific that a bot wouldn't know. Just talk about stuff. Just talk about my art, something specific about my art that you like, or something specific about your request. Just be very specific and not bot-like if you can avoid it. Then I do have if you don't want to go through the trouble of going through a full commission and you just want to make a quick one-time donation, I also have that link down below of a little PayPal. Just any money that you give, it's not forced. I'm not starving on the street, but anything you give, I'd really appreciate it. It makes it feel like my art and my time is being valued here. It really just shows like you support me as an artist and support who I am. Like I just really love all that. It just makes me feel all warm inside. Ugh, that felt gross to even say, but again, I'd appreciate just whatever you can do, whatever you support me in any way you feel. That's just like I really appreciate anything that you can do. All those fake little numbers, they do mean a lot to me. I don't know why. They probably shouldn't. But I'm parasocial. I like that stuff. Anyways, that's enough of that. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna be streaming not next Tuesday. Next Tuesday I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna be watching Hades Town, which I've heard is very good. So we'll see about that. But the week after, and then the Tuesdays after, we should be all good. I don't think I have anything else coming up on my Tuesdays. Let me double check before I make any promises. So yeah, next Tuesday I'm going to be gone. Tuesday after that. Ooh. Hang on one second. What in the world happened there? Oh my goodness, this thing is gonna drive me nuts. Okay, I'm gonna have to double check that. Sorry, I just realized like an appointment I had set. Anyways, not a point. I was in the middle of saying goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. I'm very sorry for being so distracted and sleepy today, but I had a doctor's appointment. It just had a lot of stuff I needed to get through. But again, won't be here next Tuesday. The Tuesday after that, so that's gonna be Tuesday on the 20th. So I'll be there. Very excited to keep working on this. This is already like shaping up to be a pretty solid piece, a pretty fun piece for me to work on. So thank you. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Goodbye. Bye 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 bye.